Josh, I want to talk to you about LA because in January we saw LA battle through one of the most destructive fires in California's history. And the disaster, of course, was made worse because of the incompetence of its leaders. We had Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom. We know that a dozen people lost their lives, thousands and thousands of homes were destroyed. Where was Karen Bass? Well, she was enjoying herself at a cocktail party in Ghana. She ignored the National Weather Service warnings of extreme fire weather conditions on January 3. She flew to Ghana on a junket the next day, and by January 7, LA was going up in flames. And of course, when she returned, we all remember her bravery and her message to Angelenos.
You owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Nothing. She said absolutely nothing. She just ran away from the cameras, just showing what a weak leader she really is. And it was quickly revealed that Karen Bass cut the fire department's budget by almost $18 million ahead of those wildfires. The reservoirs were sitting empty, firefighters were running out of water, and the fire chief at the time, Kristen Crowley, admitted on live television that Karen Bass failed her and failed LA.
And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Well, Karen Bass then fired Kristen Crowley, but the ex-fire chief is now taking legal action against Karen Bass, claiming that she was the scapegoat for the city's response to the wildfires. Now, part of her statement says, as the fire chief for nearly 3 years, I advocated for proper funding, staffing and infrastructure upgrades to better support and protect our firefighters and, by extension, our communities. The lies, deceit, exaggerations and misrepresentations need to be addressed with the only thing that can refute them, the true facts. Now, the legal claim also says that Karen Bass made multiple false claims justifying the removal of Kristen Crowley as chief, including suggestions that Crowley sent 1,000 firefighters home. Josh, how is this going to play out? I know there's a lot of anger still in Los Angeles directed at Karen Bass over the fires.
Well, Gabriella, I know that all too personally, actually. So I live in Florida and not in California, but my wife and I have friends actually who lost their home. In fact, we actually were at a wedding in Santa Barbara, California, just in May for a couple who got married that weekend. They literally lost their home just 4.5 months prior to their wedding day in the Palisades fire there. And there are all too many stories like this. It was just a horrific thing. But that Karen Bass video, by the way, where she just refuses to answer the questions there.
Yeah,
I remember watching that like it was yesterday, actually. I mean, absolutely astonishing stuff. I mean, it's so awkward. I mean, literally just like standing there, I mean, you can shake your head, you can walk away there, you can kind of like put your hand up to the camera, but I mean, like, don't just like stand there. I mean, that is political malpractice 101. Now, Crowley, the ex-fired chief, is interesting because at the time, a lot of the conservative media here in the United States was talking about how Crowley was actually the first avowedly, I believe, homosexual, lesbian fire chief of any major city in the United States. There are a lot of folks in conservative media were talking about how this was a DEI hire, and that kind of led to the fire there. Now we're starting to learn a slightly different version of former fire chief Crowley there. I will be very curious to see where this particular lawsuit goes. What I do know is that Karen Bass is worse than nothing, that she is horrific. I mean, she was a backbencher Democrat in the U.S. Congress. She was in the House, and she was an absolute nobody when it comes to legislation, a total backbencher there. Then she goes into the mayor's office, and we've now literally seen L.A. go to probably the lowest point in its entire fairly illustrious actually history as a city there. So look, we'll see what happens there, but it's a very interesting turn from Ms. Crowley, who kind of went from the punching bag of conservative media here to now being something of a hero there. I'll be very curious to see that, as Gabrielle, where this lawsuit goes.